Everybody, it's Candace again. And today I'd like to talk to you guys about how to survive the holidays while grieving. Losing a loved one is really hard, but people often struggle much more during the holidays. The Christmas music, holiday parties, and festivities that were so enjoyable before now serve as painful reminders of the loss they've suffered. They want to be there for others, but question how to get through this time of year without him or her or them. It just seems so unfair because this is supposed to be the time when all of our loved ones are supposed to be together celebrating. For some, it's even to the point where they would just rather sleep through the whole day and just wake up when all the hoopla of the holidays is completely over. I hear you, and I want to help. I've done videos in the past on grief, and if you haven't watched them, check them out. One focuses on grief in general, and the other focuses on different types of grievers. Today, I'm only focusing on strategies to get you through the holidays. So let's get started. First, focus on what you can control and make a plan. Oftentimes, the anticipation of an occasion is worse than the actual event. So we dread things for months that will really only last a few hours. This can be really stressful, but with a plan, you can have more control over those hours that can seem so dreadful. So think about what you can do to lessen the heartache for yourself. Keep in mind, you don't have to force yourself to face every holiday event or tradition, and you don't have to pretend to be jolly just because it's Christmas. If you feel that doing that certain thing is going to bring about too many painful memories, be willing to say no. Others may try to convince you otherwise, but you don't have to please everybody. And if those people have your best interest in heart, they'll understand because they want what's best for you. At this point, replay in your mind what normally needs to get done and what family traditions almost always involves. From there, ask yourself, do I even feel like doing this? Can I skip it this year? Why or why not? Will it actually add more meaning to this holiday season? If it needs to get done, then ask again. How can I make the situation or a task easier for me? Can someone do my part or help me get it done? What part did my loved one play that now needs to be performed this year? If my deceased mom usually made the sweet potato pie, who can make it this year? Or can we rely on Patty LaBelle and her frozen pies? If my spouse usually cuts the turkey, who can I delegate this task to now? Lower your expectations of yourself in this moment and prioritize. Ask yourself, if there are one or two things that I really want to get done, what would those one or two things be? Recognize that it's okay to limit your decorations or to only shop online for presents. Be patient with yourself and ask for help when you need it. Our support systems are not mind readers. It may be hard, but we have to communicate with them to get our needs met. This is a new normal for you. So love on yourself like you would love on another treasured loved one. People versus privacy. Think about how much time you want to spend alone versus how much time you want to be with other people. In this pandemic, a lot has already been decided for us because we're limited in how many people we can interact with. But there are still safe alternatives like Zoom and Duo and FaceTime, or we can gather outside with fire pits and bonfires. So if you decide to go to a gathering, plan to drive yourself or go with a trusted companion who'll be willing to leave when you're ready so you won't feel stuck anywhere. It may also be helpful to write on index cards a few helpful thoughts that you can tell yourself when you're feeling really sad. Things to put on the index card to be like, you'll get through this. Better days are coming. It's okay not to be okay right now. And breathe. In addition to that, there are breathing, mindfulness, and grounding techniques that can be useful when feeling really overwhelmed. So I've done a video on breathing before, and I'll just kind of reiterate. So you breathe through your nose as if you're sniffing a flower, and then you breathe out of your mouth like you're blowing a candle. Let's try it. As you do this, make sure you're doing it really slowly. And you'll try this for about 4 or 5 rounds. What you'll notice is that your body will be a little bit more relaxed. In fact, when you breathe out, you might even feel your body deflate. That lets you know that you're breathing correctly. As for the mindfulness and grounding, you can put focused attention on sensations in your feet or other body parts, or even scan the room for colors or shapes to bring your mind to your present situation and less on the painful emotions. So when you're paying attention to your feet, you're paying attention to what your feet feel like in your socks, what your feet feel like in your shoes, what your feet feel like in your shoes on the floor. You can rock them back and forth. You can kind of wiggle your toes. You're just making a point to focus on your toes and the sensation. You can also do other body parts. With the scanning the room for colors and shapes, you can just decide on one color. I'm going to look for all the red colors and then just scan the room for things that are red or shapes. I'm going to look for anything that might be round. Find the round shape. This again will allow you to take your mind off of the things that are ruminating so that your emotions can come back to where they need to. These exercises are pretty easy to remember, and you always have the tools with you because you're always breathing. And no matter where you go, there you are, and your body parts are there with you too. The more that you practice, the better it works. For those who like time alone, decide what that'll be like for you. What will you do with that time? Will it make you feel better or make you feel worse? Recognize your needs and your vulnerabilities. Will you be tempted to engage in risky behaviors? Please avoid excessive drinking or drug use to cope. These behaviors do more harm than good to the grieving process. Now, if those are not issues for you, then decide how you'll enjoy the holidays alone. You can catch up on your reading, pamper yourself, binge watch your favorite shows. You can rent a few movies, whatever will make the moment enjoyable as much as you can. But expect a flood of memories and a flood of emotions. The tools mentioned earlier, whether you're alone or surrounded by people, they can be helpful. Also, coloring in adult coloring books and journaling can also be helpful. Also, have in mind a person that you can share your feelings with when you are overwhelmed and sad. And make sure that you let others know your plans ahead of time so they can plan ahead as well. If your grief is so overwhelming that you want to hurt yourself or others, or you're not able to function in your daily life and it's affecting your home, your school, and work, it's time to reach out and get help from a professional. A therapist can be helpful, but if that's not an option for you, there are hotlines you can contact. You can reach a counselor by text by texting HOME, HOME, to 741-741, or you can call 1-800-273-TALK. These services are free and they're available 24/7. Lastly, find ways to honor your loved one this holiday. Their memory should not be the elephant in the room. So some ideas could be to light a candle to burn throughout the day. This one candle can represent one person or multiple people. It signifies that your love for them never dies and they're always with you. And this candle idea doesn't only have to be for the holidays. On any random day, you can light the candle in memory of them, just because. You can also make their favorite dish, play their favorite song. You can share funny or happy stories about them with others. There's something you can do called Remember When. Remember when Bug used to say this, or remember when Tina used to do this? And then other people can kind of catch on and share as well. Remember, it's okay to laugh without judging yourself or feeling bad or guilty. How we grieve is not a measure of our love for our person. And laughter gives our minds, bodies, and emotions a much needed break. So as much as you can, without guilt or shame, laugh. You can also give a gift or do something for someone in need in your loved one's honor. This could be a time to create new traditions while cherishing a few old ones. Our loved ones are gone, but their memories don't have to. Our loved ones may not be present, but we can still be for ourselves and for others. Remember, grief is not a problem to be solved or a disease to be cured. It's a necessary process by which we heal. And although it doesn't feel like it now, it will get better if you go through the process. I hope this was helpful. And until next time, happy holidays. Bye-bye.